So tonight, the GB News pub is not virtual in the studio, it's real here in Folkestone, and a jolly good place it is too. And I'm joined by David Starkey. David, welcome to Talking Pints. Well, here we are in historic Folkestone, and a very historic building, of course. You know, magnificent building.
A former Baptist chapel.
A Baptist.
The Fate of the Holy.
I know. And it's Trafalgar Day, of course, and it was from this port that those millions of men went across the Channel in the First World War. They nearly all went, I think, from Folkestone. You're living just down the road here in Kent. You've been here for 20-odd years. I think I want to ask you, before I get onto your controversies, many of which make me look really like a sort of shrinking liberal violet.
I didn't transform British history. You are the politician singly responsible for Brexit. It would not have happened without you. It's simply true. It is simply true. And compared with that, you know, my little piddlings on the margins of politics are neither here nor there.
Well, David, that's very sweet of you. Where did the love... And I watched your programmes, The Tudors. They were magnificent programmes. What was clear when you were presenting those programmes was how much of you was in that. You loved that period, you love history, and you were desperate to impart not just wisdom but passion about the subjects and about the people. And kind of history is about people, isn't it?
Of course.
It's about human behaviour.
It was a catastrophe of how I was taught at school and at Cambridge. History was a succession of abstract nouns: class, population, industry. It's not. An idea only matters because somebody thought of it, somebody believes it, somebody opposes it passionately. It's inside you. History is inside people. It's why, you know, let's be really complacent here, historians get better, a bit like, dare one say, in one sense, failed politicians as they get older, because you've more experience. You can't write about, you can't communicate unless you've been in love, unless you've been out of love, unless you've enjoyed success and failure. You have to have that experience. So it's one life talking about another life. And it is the problem with how history is taught academically. Yep. It's the problem with what's gone wrong in our schools. It is that teachers themselves, I was talking to one just here now as a trainee teacher, they're frightened to express themselves. They're silenced. Passion, that desire to communicate, you can't have a clamp on your mouth. You can't be looking up a hand list of approved words. We've to trust.
Where did your love of history come from? Where did it start?
Sort of accidentally. I was supposed to be a physicist, believe it or not.
Good Lord.
My best subjects were physics and chemistry. But I was wise enough. I was very fortunate. I was in a tiny little grammar school of 300. 2 of us got open scholarships to Cambridge, and 2 of them, and another lad went as well, they were natural mathematicians. They could see numbers. You know, numbers meant something. For me, I'm afraid, do we share this? A number means something to me only when there's a pound or dollar sign. And at which point, you know, I become really very adept with numbers, but not otherwise. But like you, I have a gift with words. But for me, history was the ideal alternative subject because it's grounded in fact. See, one of the great disasters of this whole woke revolution that you and I are fighting is the attack on the notion of fact, the replacement with feeling, that replacement with my truth, that form of licensed
Meghan and Harry.
Meghan and Harry.
Speaking your truth.
Speaking your truth. The licensed lie. History is grounded in fact, and my job as a historian, because actually I'm quite a serious one really, is the wonderful encounter with the document. The wonderful encounter with that human evidence. The first time I looked at a document, and there was the rather tremulous, big, bold, because he's shaking his pen, handwriting of Henry VIII. The reading a letter of a lad who was going to be executed the following morning to his parents and his wife. If you don't have that urge of human sympathy, the report of Anne Boleyn, literally 6 hours before she's executed, it's told how it's going to be done. It's the origin of the expression "chin up." You're executed. Yeah. She is executed with a swinging sword. What is her response? Well, at least I have a little neck. You can't respond to that.
Amazing. Was Henry VIII the first Brexiteer?
Yes. And you know what? On the eve of the vote that you won, I was convinced I will use that now, we're going to lose. And I wrote a very elaborate, a bit like Boris, with his 2 essays. I wrote a very elaborate essay. This is the end of the England of Henry VIII. But it wasn't. Henry VIII is still here. Henry defines England. Henry is the first person to see England as a single strategic problem. Henry, by the way, is very much better at managing the ports than our current government. You know what? They didn't actually have electronics, but they were actually able to stop people going in and out very, very effectively. It's Henry who first creates what you've got round here, this extraordinary chain of fortifications. I mean, our great problem is, what is the use of an island if you don't actually defend that island frontier? As we're discovering now with the Channel, it's simply a means of getting across. It's easier than a land frontier.
Yeah, we've got we've got Martello Towers down this coast. We've got the Royal Military Canal. We've got
Castle,
all of it.
All abandoned.
Yeah. We've given up on that. David, your love of history, your ability to present history on television and to do it very, very well, which you did, and very successfully.
Oh dear, past tense.
But, actually, very past tense. Very past tense. Because we live in a world where people are sensitive, overly sensitive in terms of what people say. But for somebody incredibly intelligent, you did make a couple of remarks. I won't re-rehearse them, we don't need to. You did make a couple of remarks that were pretty crass, and I think you probably would admit that now. And you have been cancelled. I mean, you lost your university positions, you had, I think, some books cancelled. Do you accept that what you said was rather stupid, or was it all part of free speech and open debate?
What I said, come on, please, you clearly haven't been keeping up. I apologised at the time.
I remember that, yes.
But there's no point in doing that. What I said was stupid. I used a word, and come on, Nigel, you've never, ever, under any circumstance, made a mistake, have you?
Not after a few of these, no.
You like the people in The Guardian and the BBC, always observe discretion, complete balance, total impartiality.
Absolutely.
Nothing ever slips through your lips. Well, I'm afraid it did.
Yes.
And it was stupid. And I paid a price. But you know what? I haven't paid all that bad a price. I was very fortunate. Thanks to all those years of television, I was prosperous.
Yep.
The university appointments were merely honorary. And also, do you know what? You really do discover who friends are.
Yeah, I bet.
I was equally very fortunate. I didn't lose a single person that I valued. You then also discover what titles and honorifics are worth. If they can be taken away for a single word, what is the value of them? They are worthless. What I did, I learned that the people conferring those distinctions have no right to do so, that they represent nothing. If something that's supposedly given to you because you're a distinguished historian is taken away because of a single slip of the tongue, that is not justice, that is not reason, that is not the proper correction of behaviour, it is mere crass vengeance. It is a desire. It is also an act of gross ingratitude. When you have given, as I did, to my college and to the University of Cambridge, do you know what? The reason that I was not with James, my late partner, when he died, was I was doing a speech at King's College, Cambridge.
David.
So it is an act of like ingratitude.
You have been one of the biggest victims of cancel culture. But let me ask you one last question.
No, never the word victim.
Okay, all right.
Do I look broken?
No, you don't.
You don't.
Do I look... But how do we get you back?
No, come on. Come on, this is vital. You're only a victim if you behave like a victim, if you're crushed like a victim, if you respect the people who do it. I don't respect them, I treat them with the most absolute disdain and contempt. They happen to manage so much of our public life. They are not worthy of shining my shoe, and I'm wearing suede.
David Starkey, how do we get you back on the telly?
Well, we're doing a good imitation.
Well, there we are. There we are.
You're not yet mainstream, but come on, maybe we get together and work together. We're doing a pretty good double act.
I remember being mainstream. Me, mainstream's terrifying. I mean, I remember leading UKIP, this fringe, marginal party, where they said all sorts of dreadful things about us. And I remember...
Founded by my friend Alan Scared.
When we won the European elections in 2014, I said to the team, I'm going to have to resign. We've become respectable. We've become mainstream. I know. Terrible. David, thank you for coming and speaking with such amazing passion. You're an incredibly resilient guy. You've done so much for this. Ladies and gentlemen, that was David Starkey. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. And...
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.